Hello and welcome to a very special video. Today we're going to talk about gatekeeping, its positives and all of that fun stuff. So let me start with this. There is nothing as useless as a gate left open. In effect, when you don't actually perform any degree of gatekeeping, you lower the standards, you lower the bar, and things tend to slip from there. Because if there's no expected level of competency, no expected level of performance, no expectation at all, the only thing that will happen is expectations will slip. This isn't an act of cruelty. This isn't an act of excluding people for the pure reason of excluding them. It's about doing very basic things to maintain whatever it is you're gatekeeping. Now, this can be done in negative ways, like anything. There's positives and negatives, but let's focus on why to gatekeep. Why to gatekeep? Gatekeeping is a matter in which we can maintain various things. In a hobby, it is to ensure that people who actually have an interest in it, who have a actual legitimate desire to be involved, and people who actually want the thing to continue become involved and invested. It is effectively done in various ways, but one of the most basic one is the excited questioning from a person in the hobby when they meet someone new. When they hear that person say, "Oh yeah, I'm into that," and they immediately leap into asking them about what their favorite factions are, what their favorite lore is, how they do this, how they do that. It's not meant as an attack, even though those who are, let's say, bad actors will claim it's an attack to push the vulnerable out, whatever vulnerability a hobbyist is in that regard. It's more of a natural response to see someone and hear that they're interested in the thing you do and find some entertainment and joy in discovering what it is they like about the thing. But it's also a way to sort people who have no idea, people who are simply claiming interest because it's popular, because it's something they want to push themselves into, make claim, and then change. This is akin to someone going into a knitting circle and turning it into a politics circle. It's happened, it's stupid, and it's done because people felt bad for having some standard. There's nothing wrong with a standard. There's nothing wrong with gatekeeping. It is a natural response that humans have because we desire innately the things that we care about to continue on. We want them to remain. Even if we don't wittingly do these things, it is a natural response. It's a natural outcome of a human inclination. The reason we do it is just to preserve things. It's not out of hate. It's not out of bitterness. It's just about figuring out if someone actually shares your interest. And then if someone doesn't, knowing that that person might have other intentions. Now, that doesn't mean that if we meet someone who's new and doesn't actually know anything and they're trying to learn, that they're turned away. No. But in often many cases when people complain about gatekeeping, the truth of the matter is the person never had any interest in the thing. They simply were upset that they were confronted, even if not done so in a negative manner or a aggressive manner, and found out. The anger has nothing to do with the gatekeeping. The anger has everything to do with finding themselves in a position where they're exposed, where they have a clear interest in forcing things and changing things and breaking the thing over their knee, and they don't like that you found out about that desire. So I always encourage people, gatekeep. you should gatekeep things like you would gatekeep your house. You don't want random strangers coming in and stealing your fridge. You don't let people simply just borrow your car by leaving the keys in it and leaving the doors open and going, "Hey, I trust that you'll refill it, stranger." You don't do things like that. So why would you do it with your hobby? I'm not saying to be mean or aggressive or cruel, but I am saying that in a simple manner, gatekeeping is a valuable, necessary, and often required bit of any and all hobbies. Now, that doesn't mean that you can control what a company does. It doesn't mean that you have a greater authority, but what we're talking about is for you on your personal level. I, for example, had played D&D and Rifts and a number of other RPGs for years. And we made a point of going, there's certain personalities that just clash with some of our group. We won't have people at our table who do that because all it's going to do is cause strife and disharmony and people fighting all the time. And we're not really interested in taking on newer players. We have limited time. We're all older. We have responsibilities. And it wasn't because we didn't like newer players. And it wasn't because as people who we might clash with, we had some bitter issue with. It was simply a matter of going, we don't have the time to deal with that. And we don't want to deal with that. And that's not to be mean to any of those people. Oftentimes, we did help newer players meet up and form other groups so that they could get some stuff going. We just knew what was best for our group. That's the important thing I'm trying to put out there, is there's nothing wrong with you gatekeeping. As long as you're not like using it as justification to attack someone or treat them in a fairly just a cruel manner. It's about going, what is best for me? What is best for my group? What will do or serve my interest in this and ensure I will have the best time and that this thing lasts for as long as possible. And let me put it in one other way before I close this out. The Army had standards for a very long time, and those didn't change till the modern age, effectively. I can remember a certain guy who changed a lot of standards, and they weren't there because they wanted to be cruel to people. They weren't there because they wanted to be cruel to women. They were there because when you're put in a life and death situation, the last thing you want to have to do is look back and see that person who should have never been in that position fall behind and bad things happen to them. It's about saving lives and on both ends, because oftentimes you would lose guys who'd go back to help those they were serving with. They were their buddies. They were their battle buddies. And you don't like to see that. You don't want to write 2 letters home. Trust me. The point being is that standards are not about cruelty. They're about picking things that are going to best serve us in what we're endeavoring. Be it entertainment, be it in service, be it in a job. And it's about not wasting resources. And those people who hate it and complain about it the most are in general the most dishonest people who intend to waste resources, to change things to make them worse, and oftentimes hate what they're trying to get involved in. So I encourage you, the individual, to gatekeep things for yourself, for your group, because having those standards is not a negative thing. It's about prioritizing what is going to be best for yourself, your friends, and those you're associating with. So hopefully that kind of cuts down to the core of it. And I'm sorry for a bit of rambliness. I'm going to be doing some more stuff. We're going to try to do another Bando challenge for this Friday. And if you guys have anything you'd like to see, let me know in the comments, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.